The reason people use trusts in Australia a lot of the time is for income splitting, but the biggest reason I see people use trusts is for asset protection. So they want to know that the assets that the family group have are held separately from their personal names. The most common reason people want that is they're business owners, so they have some level of personal liability, or there's a higher potential for them to be involved in some kind of potential litigation. So it's really removing their assets from their personal name. So for trusts in Australia, there's two types of trusts. There's trusts where there's a personal trustee and trusts where there's a corporate trustee. Why don't you break that down?
Yeah, no worries. So look at the so the personal having a personal individual trustee is by far the cheapest option to set up a trust, because generally you can act in your own capacity as the individual trustee of your trust. Now, unfortunately, that provides very little asset protection, because in the sense that if you are putting assets in a trust for protection purposes and you're the trustee as well, then there's not much of a corporate veil that's going to protect you in an instance where you're you're subject to litigation. So the corporate trustee will be having a company acting as in that capacity. You may be the shareholder and the director of that company, but it provides a bit of a corporate wall between your personal liabilities and that of the trust assets. So that's generally the reason why you'd have a corporate trustee.
It can have a big impact on the lending that we do for people. So I have a lot of clients that want to purchase through a corporate trustee. When we go to do a loan through that entity when you're living offshore, almost every lender now will want to take a personal guarantee from everyone that's the director of that company. So what that effectively means is when we go through the loan application, mum or dad also needs to be involved. They may or may not be very engaged in wanting to do that with you. So it's sometimes the biggest hindrance for us to be able to do lending for that structure when offshore. We get quite a few clients that come just because they heard it from a friend that this is something that they should do, or they watched a couple of YouTube videos and someone said this is like something I should definitely be doing. But like I said, the main reason people have trusts now, asset protection and estate planning purposes are the most common reasons. Mainly because, especially if you're buying a property, losing negative gearing benefits in your personal name is kind of the main reason to negative gear.
Yep.